floods, heat waves, droughts, and intense hurricanes. These are the threats facing humanity. Climate change is already happening. All over the world, people speak of odd weather and disasters never seen before in living memory. Scientists confirm that many of these disasters can be expected because of climate change. Nobody is safe, but the most vulnerable bear the brunt. They lose their homes and their crops when they're lucky enough not to lose their lives. And there's more to come. Climate change will accelerate in the coming decades and become a humanitarian challenge for the International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement and humanity as a whole.
Hay muchos ancianos de más de 60 años que nunca pasaron esta consecuencia.
长那次大雪呀，特别的可怕。你看我那天一开始晚上刮那个大风，就是这个房子一刮倒，我在的那个高头那就喝毁掉了，喝的都乱喝的。妈，那个风那个浪都人多高。
The flood will be more intense, rainfall will be more intense, or even like drought or typhoon.
También se ha observado, o sea, de que el calentamiento global produce condiciones, ¿verdad?, desfavorables en los extremos, tanto en la parte de sequía como de lluvias abundantes o lluvias asociadas a fenómenos como los huracanes.
In 150 years, the temperature of the planet has risen half a degree. The past 10 years were the hottest on record. By the turn of the century, this increase could soar to 6 degrees. The warming is caused by human actions, like the use of oil and coal and deforestation, causing more extreme weather and more disasters. The first signs are already there.
En el año 2005 se dio una temporada de huracanes que batió con todos los registros históricos. Se presentaron 23 eventos nombrados. Esto pues realmente asombró a la comunidad científica a nivel internacional.
In 20 years, the annual number of natural disasters has doubled. Just under 200 in the 80s, more than 400 in 2007. For the past 3 years, emergency disaster response operations undertaken by National Red Cross and Red Crescent societies have also been steadily increasing, from more than 250 in 2004 to almost 500 in 2006, and possibly even more in 2007.
We need to bring together all major risk reduction actors, such as UN agencies, NGOs, governments, and the World Bank, as well as private sector. We have launched a global alliance to this purpose, a global alliance to protect life, limit damage, and increase resilience.
Red Cross, Red Crescent volunteers and staff work on the front line of the impact of climate change. They are called on to help time and again, and the human and financial resources are stretched to their limits. However, we must also invest without delay in risk reduction, because although disasters cannot always be prevented, their impact can be reduced. All over the world, the Red Cross and Red Crescent works with local communities to strengthen their resilience against the risks of today and tomorrow, to prepare them for disasters that they may not have experienced in living memory, such as Felix, the Category 5 hurricane that hit the poorest part of Nicaragua in September 2007.
Que han hecho las comunidades que han respondido de acuerdo al trabajo que hemos venido realizando con las capacitaciones. Las brigadas conformadas se movilizaron, se organizaron para a tiempo buscar los refugios.
Preventative actions such as early warning systems and evacuation drills proved their effectiveness when the hurricane struck. Risk reduction work helps to save lives and livelihoods and is an economic choice that concerns the international community as a whole.
Now, we can ignore it and hope the problem goes away and pay very, very high costs in the future, or we can start investing moderate amounts of resources now to anticipate a range of climate change impacts.
For each dollar invested in risk reduction, 4 are saved in terms of emergency response and reconstruction. When people are better prepared for the risks of disasters, they are less vulnerable in a crisis. Disaster risk reduction pays off, like in Vietnam, for example.
Của cái cây này ấy, là khi mà nó đã phát triển lên rồi thì nó có tác dụng thứ nhất là nó phòng ngừa sóng bão, sóng và gió bão, để bảo vệ đê điều, rồi là mùa màng, rồi là tính mạng và tài sản của dân. Và
Planting mangroves to protect dikes from the increasing onslaught of the sea is a preventative risk reduction option that has borne fruit and cut the cost of maintaining the dikes by $7 million. In most countries, the poorest, the elderly, and the sick are the most vulnerable, but sometimes the entire population is at risk. This is the case on the Pacific island of Tuvalu, which is at risk of disappearing under rising seas. Here, the Red Cross is focusing most of its efforts now on climate change, in particular the risks of high tides in combination with storms. The movement is distributing satellite radio and telephone systems on the threatened island to facilitate early warning and evacuation.
The thing to talk about is what are we going to do when it happens, because it is happening. And what are we going to do about this pressure of population and the sea level rise and all this? What are we going to do about it? We have to look for a place where we can survive.